Okay, so we did some bounties to get some keystones. Then you did some regular rifts with those keystones, and you got some keystones of trials. Now we're going to use those trial keystones with this guy, my pet witch doctor. The whole point of him is to get out a whole bunch of fetishes that run around and attack and then pump up their damage. You use this fetish army skill, summons 8 of them, and this passive skill gives you a chance to summon another one every time you hit something. You can get up to 15 of these ones plus 8 of these ones, so I can have up to 23 fetishes. And then you cast this Big Bad Voodoo, which is just an area effect that boosts all of them. This SMK lets you reset the cooldown on your Fetish Army and your Big Bad Voodoo almost immediately, because they both have a really long cooldown. Every time a fetish hits when you have the SMK, it resets the cooldown, lowers the cooldown by 1 second, and once you get a bunch of fetishes out, that means it basically resets instantly. This is one of the few builds that's not based around a 6-piece set. It's mostly based around these 3 items, the SMK for resetting your cooldown of Big Bad Voodoo and Fetish Army. Tasker and Teos give you a 50% boost to your pet speed, and this gives you between a 75 and 100% boost to your pet damage, 98% in my case with this one. So I cast Toads, which do almost no damage, but I cast that to try and spawn more fetishes when it hits enemies. Then I cast Fetish Army, then the Big Bad Voodoo, and everything dies. And the dogs are just to slow enemies down. The reason slowing enemies down is important is because of these legendary gems. You'll notice I have an amulet, and both rings have legendary gems. The effects of these gems are so powerful that pretty much every ring and amulet you have has to have a socket. So this Bane of the Trapped means that any enemy that gets slowed or trapped takes a huge amount more of damage, which is why what the dogs are for. They slow enemies, which triggers that Bane of the Trap gem. And this Pyranado spell here does the same thing. This Pain Enhancer gem causes every enemy hit by a critical hit to bleed for a bunch of weapon damage, and since the fetishes are running around hitting everything, this triggers on every enemy pretty much immediately. And then the the Toxin gem in this one, again, same thing. Every enemy that the fetishes hit gets poisoned for a whole bunch of damage over time. So I'm going to go to the keystone here. Oh, I want to talk about the Unity too. This ring, Unity. Almost every hardcore character uses this ring. What it says is all damage taken. Oh, did I talk about this? I think I already talked about this in the bounties. Okay, I don't need to talk about the Unity anymore. Let's just do the trial. Alright, here's the keystone. You cap it off. Boom, it teleports you in here. Summon my dogs. Depending on how fast you kill, just endless waves of enemies. How fast you kill them and how many, you get a greater rift key. So, start testing rooms of toads, fetishes. The enemies get stronger and stronger as you go on through it. I'll pick up health globes because I have a skill that boosts my damage. There, now then, summon Fetish Army, then summon Big Bad Voodoo. And when I'm standing, take that big boost to the damage. My damage is up slowly. And there's my Fetish Sycophant. That's my Fetish Army. I get up to 15 of the Fetish Sycophants. But in this case, the trial won't last that long. Time is long.
My strike is true.
Good enough, and when you've cleared whatever a wave that you're happy with, you can stop. The keystone you get is going to equal to the wave you cleared -3. I just cleared wave 37, so I'm going to get a 34 keystone. And you can use that
Your valor is
keystone. Any character can use that keystone. Here's the keystone. I can use it for this guy, or I can put it in my stash and give it to somebody else. Whatever. It just depends on what you want to do. I'll probably give it to somebody else. Alright, next up, Greater Rifts.